In American history, George Washington is revered as the father of the nation, the first president, the general who led the struggle for independence. But behind the glory, Washington carried a private sorrow little known to the world, the tragedy of a man who could never have children of his own. Picture this, a towering figure, standing tall in his military uniform, his face etched on every dollar bill. Yet behind those stoic eyes lay a deep, unspoken pain. George Washington, the man who would shape a nation, was denied the simple joy of fatherhood. It's 1759, and a young George Washington has just married Martha Dandridge Custis. She's a widow with 2 children, and Washington embraces them as his own. But as the years pass, the couple realizes they cannot have children together. For Washington, a man so focused on legacy, this absence becomes a quiet, gnawing ache. Imagine the irony, the man destined to become the father of a nation, unable to father children of his own. How did this personal tragedy shape the leader we know today? Let's delve into the untold story of George Washington's greatest sorrow. Washington's role as a stepfather was complex. He cared deeply for Martha's children, John Parke Custis and Martha Parke Custis, whom he affectionately called Jackie and Patsy, but the relationship was not without its challenges. Jackie, in particular, tested Washington's patience with his rebellious nature and poor academic performance. Despite these difficulties, Washington invested heavily in their education and future. He sent Jackie to the finest schools and arranged advantageous marriage for Patsy. When Patsy died at just 17 from epilepsy, Washington was devastated. He wrote, "This sudden and unexpected blow, I scarce need add, has almost reduced my poor wife to the lowest ebb of misery. The loss of Patsy only intensified Washington's desire for children of his own." Yet, as the years passed, the dream remained unfulfilled. Some historians speculate that Washington's infertility may have been due to a bout of smallpox he suffered as a young man. Others suggest it might have been Martha, who was unable to conceive again after her first marriage. Regardless of the reason, the absence of biological children left a void in Washington's life. This emptiness, however, may have fueled his dedication to the nascent United States. With no direct heirs to inherit his legacy, Washington poured his energy and ambition into nurturing the young nation. As commander of the Continental Army, Washington often referred to his soldiers as his children. He felt a paternal responsibility for their welfare, writing countless letters advocating for better supplies, pay, and recognition for his troops. This fatherly concern extended to the nation as a whole when he became president. Washington's presidency was marked by a desire to unite the fractious states and establish a strong foundation for the country's future. He saw America as his child, one that needed guidance, protection, and nurturing to grow into its full potential. In his farewell address, he spoke of the nation with the tenderness of a parent, warning against the dangers of partisan divisions and foreign entanglements. But even as Washington shaped the destiny of a nation, the personal longing for a child never left him. In private moments, away from the public eye, he must have felt the weight of this unfulfilled desire. Martha Washington once confided to a friend, "I have no child to whom I can leave anything." The paradox of Washington's life becomes even more poignant when we consider his death. In his final hours, surrounded by doctors and loved ones, Washington had no biological child to comfort him or carry on his name. Yet, in a twist of fate, it was Jackie's son, George Washington Parke Custis, who was present at his deathbed. This great step-grandson would later become one of the primary custodians of Washington's legacy, preserving his memory and personal effects. In a way, Washington's influence extended through generations, not through blood, but through the bonds of chosen family and national reverence. Washington's childlessness also affected his decisions regarding Mount Vernon, his beloved home. With no direct heir, he meticulously planned for the estate's future, eventually leaving it to Bushrod Washington, his nephew. This decision ensured that Mount Vernon would remain in the family, preserving the Washington name and legacy. The absence of children may have also influenced Washington's views on slavery. While he was a slaveholder for much of his life, his attitudes evolved over time. In his will, Washington made the extraordinary decision to free his slaves upon Martha's death. Some historians speculate that without children to inherit his property, including slaves, Washington felt more freedom to make this moral choice. Washington's childlessness also had broader implications for the young republic. Unlike many European monarchies where power was inherited, Washington's lack of an heir reinforced the American ideal of leadership based on merit rather than birthright. His voluntary relinquishment of power after 2 terms as president set a precedent that would shape American democracy for generations. In the end, Washington's personal tragedy became intertwined with his public legacy. The man who could not be a father in the traditional sense became the father of a nation. His unfulfilled longing for children perhaps made him more attuned to the needs of a young country, more willing to sacrifice his personal desires for the greater good. As we reflect on Washington's life, we see a man of contradictions, a slaveholder who freed his slaves, a military leader who warned against standing armies, a president who relinquished power, and perhaps most poignantly, a childless man who became the father of a nation. Perhaps these shadows allow us to see more clearly. Washington was not only a great man, but also a human being with sorrow, with private tragedies no one could truly understand. And perhaps from that very emptiness, he gave his heart wholly to a young nation, becoming, in the truest sense, the father of America. Thank you for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating stories about historical figures and their untold stories. See you in the next video.